Shabbat Parshat, Vayetze, Yiratzon, the limud Shabiler Fuat, Tanya Bat Hoda Margalit, Yosef Yair ben Aviva Chava Rav Sivan ben Sima, Betoch Kol Shar Cholei Yisrael. Parshat Vayetze, we meet 6 of the most powerful words in my eyes in the Torah. The pasuk says, Vayetze Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva vayelech Harana. Those 6 words describe a very simple journey. Yaakov has a brother who wants to murder him, and therefore he is commanded by his mother Rivka to leave Israel and to run away, to flee, to save himself, to evacuate because of the fear of his brother that wants to kill him. But when the pasuk describes Yaakov leaving, there are many things that are missing and some things that are emphasized for no specific reason. Vayetze Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva vayelech Harana. Why? Suddenly, there's no reason. It doesn't say why he went. It just says that he went. And so one of the things that are missing in the pasuk are the emphasis of the fact that Yaakov left because he was forced to leave. That's what's missing. But what's emphasized is where he left from and where he went to. We need to know that he left from Be'er Sheva and went to Haran. Why can't you just say Vayelech Harana? I would have known that he went to Haran. Is it really that important to know that he left from Be'er Sheva? From there he went to Haran. So to reiterate the questions on the pasuk, if we know that Yaakov is running away, why doesn't it say that that's the reason? Vayetze Yaakov mipnei achiv Esav. Could have said that he left because he was afraid of his brother. But suddenly the reason's not there. And what is emphasized instead is where he left from, when really it could have just said Vayelech Harana. So the Sfat Emet on these 2 questions transforms what it means to deal with galut and with exile, with challenge and with obstacles, with difficulties through these 6 words. Says the Sfat Emet that it says Vayetze Yaakov, and on this he says Bivadai haya yetziazu hachana ve'etza al hagalut shenuchal letaken atzmeinu. The first thing the Sfat Emet says is Yaakov was aware. Yaakov was aware that he was not Yaakov. He was on a journey to become a father. He was on the journey to become a founder. He was on the journey to become a person to establish a nation. And what he does will affect not only Yaakov, but the next thousands of years of the Jewish people. And so Yaakov, sort of sitting by himself at that night when he ran away from Esav, says to himself, am I the only one? Am I the only one that will flee the land? Am I the only one that will enter exile? Am I the only one that will face challenge? Am I the only one that will face obstacles? No. And so how I enter will affect so many generations in the future. And so how dare I leave just because of my reason? So says the Sfat Emet, why is the reason not there? Because Yaakov doesn't want it to be his story. Yaakov wants his story to affect, and affect. And the way to do that is to take away the personal reason and to imagine the bigger picture. Many people will deal with obstacles. Comes Yaakov and says, therefore, it's not just my story, and therefore I need to take away that personal reason. But on this comes the Sfat Emet and says, the Yaakov Avinu alav hashalom, Hechnis atzmo beratzon. It is such a sharp reading of the psukim. Says the Sfat Emet in Hebrew, what is the word for fleeing? Vayivrach. The word of the pasuk should have said, Vayivrach Yaakov. But what does it say? Vayetze Yaakov. Says the Sfat Emet, this one word difference is a world of a difference. Vayivrach means that I do what I do because I'm forced to. Says Yaakov, never will I do a thing out of force. Vayetze. I will go to Galut not because I want to, but my mindset will be that I'm not going because I have to. I will choose how to go through Galut. I will choose not only to overcome Lavan, but I will choose to give birth to 11 children. And I will choose that when my wife is taken away, I'll continue the journey. Says the Sfat Emet, the word Vayetze means Ratzon. The word Vayivrach means force. Comes Yaakov and says, I might go because of Esav, but I'm going to decide the way I'll be there. Will I be a person that will be stepped on, or will I be a person that will take a step forward? Yes, I need to go to Haran. Yes, I need to run. But am I a person that's running away and waiting for the next person to hit? Or am I someone that says, Vayetze, if I'm going, I'm standing tall. If I need to run, I'll run, but I'm not going to put my head down. I will put my head up. Vayetze, I will stand tall. Vayetze, I will make decisions. Vayetze, I'm in control and no one will control me. And so therefore, not only does Yaakov know that it's not his story, he makes a decision what should be the way for future generations to perceive the challenges of their life. Do you put your head down or do you build a new world? Says Yaakov, I will not put my head down. I will stand tall. Comes to the Sfat Emet for the final point and says, why are the places emphasized? Why does it say that he left Beersheba? I don't really care. I know that he's going to Haran. What does it matter where he left from? Says the Sfat Emet, Beersheba is not a place. Beersheba is a world. And he says, Beersheba hu pchinat Shabbat. Beersheba is a place that is the concept of Shabbat. Why? Number one, the word Sheva is the day of the week of Shabbat. But more than that, Yaakov Avinu is 67 years old at the day that he runs to Haran. And at the age of 67, he looks back on 67 years and he lived in a world of Shabbat. He lived in a world of perfection. He was in the Ohel. He didn't have the bracha. Guess what? He got the bracha. He didn't have the Bechorah. Guess what? He got the Bechorah. Things that he didn't have, he had. He was sitting and learning. His laundry was done for him. The dishes were done for him. He was there and the world was serving him. He was in a world of bliss. He was in a world of Shabbat. But comes the Sfat Emet and said, Yaakov started to realize that bliss is the beginning, not the end. I need to leave from Beersheba. I need to use Beersheba. I need to accomplish how to affect the world of Beersheba into a world of Haran. What does he do in Haran? For 20 years he works and works and works. Lo yadati yomam v'layla. I'm just working all day long. That is the 6 days of the week. Avodah, avodah, avodah. But for Yaakov Avinu, Shabbat is the beginning. It's where I get my purpose. And then when I go to Haran, I could control the situation. And so the secret of these 6 words are A, your challenge is not just your challenge. If you're struggling with Shlom Bayit and you're struggling with Parnasa and you're struggling with all the different things in the world, you're struggling in high school with school, you're struggling in post-high school with who am I, you're struggling in university with am I in the Esav world, am I in the Yaakov world, you're struggling in your job with is my job the right job? The answer of Yaakov is your struggle is not your struggle. Stop perceiving your struggle as personal. Realize that the way you'll act will be the way they will act. Your children will learn from you. Your co-workers will learn from you. Your co-friends, whatever you want to call them, will learn from you. That's step one. Step one of challenge is to stop thinking that it's just yours. But then comes Yaakov and says, if it's not just mine, then I must teach the future generations how. And the way is to decide and not let the world decide for you. Yes, no one in Yaakov's foots would have wanted to go to Haran. But once you have to go, what's the way you go? Do you go with your head low or do you go with your head high? Do you wait for things to happen or do you create the picture you want? The last point was you leave from Be'er Sheva. Bliss is not where we're reaching to, but where we're stemming from. We're going to leave from Be'er Sheva, from Shabbat, from perfection, from the homes that our parents gave us, from the yeshivas that our rabbis taught us, from the universities that educated us. And now we're going to affect from perfection to make the imperfect world a little bit better. Baruch Hashem, me and Tanya have been zocheh to look in the eyes of our daughter. And when I look in the eyes of my daughter, I see the character of my wife. I see that through this person is an ima that looked at every single aspect of life and searched for opportunity, searches for opportunity, and will search for opportunity. My bracha to all of us entering into Parshat Vayetze is to never leave ruach, never to run, but always latzet, always with our head talls, deciding what our image of life is, realizing that it's not just our challenge, but it's our challenge, and knowing that if we've experienced bliss, use it, affect the world from the bliss that you've felt. Shabbat Shalom.